We're here at the 9th Annual Outstanding Art of Television Costume Design Exhibition right here at FIDM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And here we have over 100 costumes from about 20 shows, I think 23 or 24 shows. And it really is great because it spans a lot of contemporary as well as period costumes from various TV genres. So we have a lot of series, a lot of drama, a little bit of comedy, and you see it all. So it really shows, I think, a student of fashion, student of costume design, fans of TV shows. Really, you can see the wide range of costumes and how costumes are integral to telling the story, which is really essential. And that's what really costume designers want to do, and really show you who those characters are and tell the story through the costumes.
So talk about costume design as an art form. Okay.
Costume design as an art form is an amazing integral piece of not just TV making, filmmaking, all of it, because it really helps to tell the story. When a director or showrunner meets with a costume designer, it really helps to bring out the story, because there are things that you would never realize. A costume designer can help that. They help in really fleshing out the art. And it's, a lot of people may not realize how costume design is an art and how important it is to the overall look and overall telling of the story. And I always say, sometimes when you don't notice the costumes in a TV show, then the costume designer has done their job, because it looks natural and it looks seamless. And to me, that's an art.
So when you watch TV, are you really critical about oh, that doesn't belong in that song? Or you're always looking for something like that?
As somebody who loves fashion and as a fashion designer, I'm not so much looking for inconsistencies. I'm just looking for things that really tell the story to me. And I'm a very visual person, so I'm always looking for things that are great and pretty. And that might actually influence me when I'm creating a collection. There are rare times when I'm looking at a TV show and the costume's going, that's not of that period. Sometimes if it's a show about the 80s and all of a sudden you see some super skinny jeans, I'm like, nope, I don't think so. But you don't see that as much. I think that costume designers, especially now, are really cognizant of staying true to what they're doing. So whether it's the Knick, which is about the turn of the century, or whether it's Whitney, or whether it's any other show dealing with the 40s or 50s, I think they're really, really thinking about staying true to that period. I remember watching a movie with Claudette Colbert, and it was Cleopatra, I believe, and it was in the 30s. And I remember when I was very young, I thought, oh, she looks so pretty. And I saw it again not too long ago, and all she was wearing was bias-cut silk charmeuse gowns straight out of the 30s. I'm like, that's not Cleopatra, And so it was kind of funny that sometimes I think back in the day, a lot of the costume designers really did get influenced about the period they were in. But I think now it doesn't happen so much.
So are you ever watching something, you see a fantastic costume, and you're like, how is that made? Or do you just know how it was made? Or do you wonder what the details are and you have to find out and look it up? Or?
I always love watching, especially period films or period TV shows. Like Downton Abbey is one of my favorites, because really Downton Abbey, even though it's the 1920s, that really has influenced fashion. And to me, I look at it for influencing me to do red carpet gowns. And I'm thinking, how are some of these gowns made, and the beading? And so I love it when we have those costumes here in the exhibition and you get to see them up close and you get to see how they're handmade. And I just sit there and be like, oh, so beautiful. So there are many times when I see a TV show and I see the costumes, especially grand ones, and I'm thinking, oh Lord, how many hours did that take?
So what are some of your favorite things here tonight?
Here at this exhibition, I have a lot of favorites. I have to say that I'm a big fan of Whitney. Mona May is one of my favorite costume designers, and of course it's the 20th anniversary of Clueless, so I'm from that time period. And so I love Whitney. I remember being young and just watching her first videos and thought, oh, I'd love to dress her. So those are one of my favorite costumes. The Bessie costumes are also great. I love the sequin number that is worn by Monique. and Ma Rainey, the character of Ma Rainey and Bessie. And then also the costumes from Ellen Mirojnick of the Knick are probably, I think, up there in terms of one of my favorites. The tailoring of the suits is on. I don't know how to spell the word on, but it's on. They were made by Martin Greenfield, a legendary tailor, and just when you look at those suits, it's like, oh my gosh, they're just made impeccably, and the clothing for the women as well. I think those are just gorgeous. They don't scream, they don't shout, but to me, they have such an impact. It's almost, to me, it's more impacting than a sequin gown. So those are some of my favorites as well. And of course, I love Wolf Hall because I love the Tudor period. I love when men are peacocks. Henry VIII, such a peacock, and that was the period of time when the men were, the divas. And the women had to take a second seat, when it came to fashion. So that's a really great time period for me. So I love watching those kind of period films.